Yo, what is up, guys? This is, of course, your boy Bernie here, along with Pete and Brad.
What up? What up?
And today, guys, we just talked about some NBA overreactions, underreactions, and now we're moving on to another topic, and that is, of course, Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is in the rumor mill because of a certain situation. That's, of course, with this contract extension. Klay Thompson, as I read here, and the Golden State Warriors have remained far apart on contract extensions, which has led him to try to not even think about it at all and focus on the court or process on the court. He goes on to say, I'm focused on just the daily dedication it takes to do this job. I'm not really worried about an extension right now. That will all play itself out. And we talked about kind of the situation. It feels like these two parties are very far apart in terms of what they want from each other. So I guess the question is here for you guys. If you're the Warriors, do you extend him? Do you give him the money that he needs? Or are you willing to trade him this season? Or even just let him walk? Like, what would you guys do if you are in the position of a Klay Thompson and the Golden State front office?
Yeah, this is a tough one. It's the same as the Draymond situation all over again, and they knew they were going to end up being here. God, I wouldn't re-sign him. I'll tell you that much. Not for how much he wants. I mean, I don't think it's a hard spot to be in because you don't want to say outright like you're not worth this, but honestly, he's not. He's just not. He hasn't been the same guy in a few years, rightfully so. But this is one of those things where I think it's really, really hard for these guys once you get to this level, especially as much success as guys like Klay has had. Like, it's very hard to tell these guys no, but also like just be in that area of communication where you're not offending them, but you're also looking out for yourself too as an organization. This is one of those ones where, like, there's a rumor that Bob Myers literally left the Warriors because of this situation. He was just like, didn't want to deal with this coming up, right? And it's hard to blame him. Like, what do you do? But I do think signing him to a long-term contract is probably the worst thing you can do for your organization going forward. So I would give him the respect of letting him be able to go see if there's somebody out there that wants to give you that money. Good for you, good for you, probably bad for them, but good for you. But if you're the Warriors, man, there's just no way. Because realistically, like, you got to start thinking about Steph long-term here, right? Not just long-term, I guess, but like in the next 5 years, Steph is the one of those three that still is going to be a huge impact going forward. Somebody worth building around. I don't think you'd be doing him any favors by continuing to tie him that hard to Klay at this point in his career. So, but it's tough, man. I mean, he's royalty where he's at. It's the same thing. They paid Draymond, so I kind of feel like he's going to get paid, but they probably should not do it.
I mean, yeah, I'm with you, Pete. I don't see it. Klay is like, he's good at the service he does. Like, shooting is at a premium in the league, and people want shooters. But the thing is, Klay can't really shoot. He just thinks he can shoot still. It's kind of like the Trae Young trick, and teams still treat Klay like he's a shooter, rightfully so.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, I believe, like, my philosophy in basketball is the most dangerous person on the court is a person that thinks they can shoot. So even though Klay can't actually shoot the way he used to be able to, he thinks he can. So you have to account for it because, it might come back to him one day and he might just start blazing. But the player he is right now isn't who he used to be. And if the Warriors were to give him a long-term contract, that would just sink their ship pretty much. You can't. Like, it sucks that you have to split up the Splash Bros, but maybe Zach LaVine can be a new Splash Bro. No, seriously, like, they need. I mean, if I was the Warriors, I'd be looking at that. I think that if a team does pay Klay, like you said, Pete, good for him. Like, always happy to see a player get their money. But yeah, for the Warriors, it just doesn't make any sense, like, to give him that money. I wish Klay would. I would hate to see him go on another team. I wish he'd be willing to, like, take a little pay cut. Especially considering they paid him coming off of those injuries. He's the fifth highest paid player in the league right now, something like that. He's either fifth or sixth highest paid player behind KD. So, like, they did him a solid. It's about his turn to do them a solid, but I can't knock him for wanting to get his money.
He won't do it.
Yeah.
There's no way. Based on the stuff you see about him, how he talks about
Yeah.
himself and what he's done in the league, there's no way a guy like that is gonna.
I saw he posted on Instagram like a picture of himself. It was an older picture of him like running down the court from hitting a three, and he was like, "This is the type of mode I'm on all year," or something like that. And then comes out shooting a career low from three. He's at 33% on 8 attempts,
Yeah.
which
He's
is
just never gotten his legs back under him. Like he
Yeah.
honestly it hasn't come back. Which, mind you, no shame in that. I mean, he had a crazy amount of injuries for like 3 straight seasons, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
this is that tough part of an NBA career, right? Where like the things that got these guys to the spot they are, the irrational confidence, that just like unbridled like a belief in yourself. This is where it backfires. Like the point in a career where this is like the AI, right? Like you can't take a step back and look at yourself as the guy you are now. You know, you just see yourself as the guy you were that got yourself to the point you're at. So
Yeah.
it's a really tough realization one needs to have in order to keep themselves in a great position. And mind you, what's a great position? I mean, like to me, you already have that much money. I would say maybe just look inwardly and see that staying where you're at for less money is probably the best thing you can do. These guys don't really do that though. Like it's a
They
matter
don't.
of continuing to get the money, which mind you, I mean, I can't blame them.
I don't blame him. Yeah, I think if I was in his position and Clippers want to throw
rather-
me $100 million,
I don't know. I'd rather stay. You already have so much money. Like
but that's us being like sentimental fans. I feel like, you know, like these players are just like,
true.
you
True.
know,
Yeah.
money.
That's the difference right there. Once you're in there, it's business. You're in the business of making more money at that point.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go wherever that best contract is gonna take you.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be very interesting for the Warriors moving forward, just because, like you said, Pete, like they set the precedent by paying Draymond Green. You know, they kept the core together, quote unquote. But now, you know, it's up to what they're gonna do with Klay Thompson. I'm just with you guys. I don't necessarily see the Warriors doing it, because I think that it's time to move on from this team. Because they've already had some injuries to Draymond Green. I think there's going to be more injuries along the way. And, you know, like you guys were saying, like, you know, Klay Thompson isn't shooting like how he usually shoots. And he's not, you know, he doesn't offer you the defensive end anymore like he used to. And so to me, I think it's time to move on to the next generation, because I think this team is a 1-1 for the season. Let me see where they're at. Let me just pull them up so I can kind of get
Yeah, they're 1-1. They lost to the Suns and beat the Kings.
Lost to the Suns, but like this was a Suns team without Bradley Beal, and I think was this the one with Devin Booker in this lineup? Yeah,
Booker was frying them.
Yeah, Booker was cooking them, and you know, it kind of boils down to me when it comes to this team. The Golden State Warriors, they're just not what they used to be. I mean, Chris Paul's doing his thing and he's balling out. But I just think if you really want to move on to the next generation of Golden State basketball, I think one of your three have to go. And clearly it's not going to be Curry. They said it's not going to be Draymond Green. I think just the logical next step would be, you know, Klay Thompson and trading him away. I mean, would you be in favor of like D'Lo for Klay?
Never in a million years. No,
I'd rather just let Klay walk.
Yeah,
and not get anything in return. To be honest.
Yeah, free up the cap space. I mean, if we're looking at it, like, who do we think is the most replaceable of their trio? Like, we know it's not Steph.
It's Klay.
It is Klay. Yeah,
it's always been Klay.
You can't replace the defense Draymond brings.
That's the hard thing to accept with this team. Like the Splash Brothers, that's the iconic duo nickname that people are going to remember forever. But Klay has always been the most expendable of the three. He really has.
Yeah.
Like Draymond is a one of one. He's
irreplaceable. He's the heart that runs that team. Like truly.
Yeah. And ultimately, whether or not you think he was worth the money last season, he is still much, much better at what he does than what Klay does. Like it's not even a question. And I'm a person who is very much, I didn't think they should have paid him as much as they did. But that contract is so much more worth it than giving Klay anything close to a max contract. Like that is That's an abysmal. That's honestly a franchise killer for like 5 to 7 years. That type of contract. Whether
Yeah.
people want to accept it or not, it really is. And I think that's probably why Bob Myers decided to leave. Like it is the ultimate lose-lose financial decision that has to be made in the NBA right now. It's a lose-lose for the Warriors. No matter what they do, it's a huge loss. Because they're going to have a ton of bad will get generated by not giving it to him. But if they do it, I mean, just, consider your team terrible for the next half decade. So,
Yeah.
it's a tough one, man. But he is definitely the most expendable of the three, in my opinion. I think, like, honestly, Levine is like a great shout. Just go get Levine. His defense is, I mean, the reason Klay was so special is because he was such an incredible defender. I mean, really, at his peak, he was giving you Ray Allen type shooting, but like the defending was just like
Insane.
God-tier perimeter.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable stuff.
I'll never forget watching him play in the Western Conference Finals in person. I watched this guy lock up Damian Lillard 94 feet. It was insane. Like people don't understand how good he was defensively.
Yeah.
No, people really don't. That's it. It's actually criminal how little respect he gets for just being like one of the 5 best defenders, like for consistently like 7 straight seasons, just lockdown defense on top of just being an unbelievable offensive player. Yeah, it's sad to see it happen this way, but this is what it is, man.
Yeah, just business. But let us know in the comment section down below, what do you guys make of the Golden State Warriors and what their plans should be with a guy like Klay Thompson? Do you guys think that he should be traded? Do you guys think that they should keep him and sign him to another long-term extension? Let us know in the comment section down below, what do you guys make of this team, and also what you make of the Klay Thompson situation. We'd love to know what you guys think in the comments section down below.